Thank you very much, Masters, for joining today's session. So,
Thank
as
you.
we are talking about the three
खाना
pearls,
नहीं खा रहे थे क्या?
the first one we were talking about was who am I, and then subsequently we were talking about. So we spoke about one of the very important one, which is who am I. Then the second one was what is real, and then third one was what is love. So today we will talk about the second important pearl, what is real. The easiest way to know what is real is when you accept what is not real. That's the easiest way. You will know what is real when you accept what is not real. It is easier said than done. It requires a lot of inner, churning within yourself, trying to understand how to unpeel this whole sense of truth and what this truth means to me or you as you, right? Once we learn to challenge our own stories, once we learn to get a sense of who we are not and what we want to be, then slowly we became aware of the truth that is everywhere, the truth that is eternal, immortal, ancient, whatever we call that. Now I am ready to experience it. We can always see everything that is happening from the infinite point of view, right? Unlimited point of view. But when I bring it to my own sense of it or my own personality of it, I lose the context of it. I'm no longer that which I want to be. Instead, I always become the victim of the circumstances, right? By shifting my attention, we see or we set a different perspective, right? How do I set a perspective that is different than my personality? Is you are always in that big picture. You are very artistic in your way of creation because we are the energy itself. There is no difference between me, my energy, me, my way of behaving, me, my way of thought process. When I bring that awareness into me, I will quickly start to see the difference. Today, I am not able to differentiate between me, my thoughts, me, my actions, me, my feelings, right? Me, my being. But if I really bring this perspective, what is real, what is not real, right? If I may put an example to this, the simplest example is, let's imagine our sky as my mind. The clouds that come and go are my thoughts. So if I am mind and my, which is sky, and my thoughts are the clouds, why am I associated with my thoughts all the time? Can anyone talk about it? Why am I, if I know that I am not the thought, but why is that now I am associated with my thoughts? Why is that? Anyone? So this is an important distinction, right? When I'm not in the path of truth, I do not differentiate between me and my thoughts. I always behave that thoughts are coming to me and I am those thoughts, and I go into those thoughts and create that set of feeling. Through that feeling, I have an action. Through that action, I have the reality. This is how my drama continues. Everyone's drama continues, right? But now by asking this question, what is real? We are challenging what we think we know. That's the first thing that's coming. You are challenging what you think you know or we know. Nothing is quite as we imagine. We all know that, right? Because it's brain, my brain is nothing but my mind is nothing but a mirror, right? Wherever, whatever I have been processed this information, or I have gathered these impressions, or I have gained this information, that is how my mind is behaving all the time, right? So it's like, you are touching a glass. You see your own reflection. You see your own way of looking at things. My mind perceives the information and creates a picture of reality, and I see that as a reality. Instead of trying to look at that reality as a mirror of my mind, I look at that physical reality as the reality. But if you try to reach that physicality through a thought, we couldn't reach it. Always it comes from my mind, gets into the thought, thought creates the feeling, feeling creates the action, action creates the reality. If I want to go back the other way around, you cannot do that. We couldn't do that. Because I see that physical reality is not a mirror image. I see that as an actual image. Now the question is, what is real? Right? What is real? Are we the reflection? My reality is the reflection of my thoughts and feelings, or my reality is my true nature? How do I bring this perspective in the context of truth, in the context of spirituality? This is where it kind of gives that perspective, what I was talking earlier, right? The attention, the shifting of the attention happens when you start to bring this perspective into your life and start looking at things that, okay, everything that is happening at its own pace, and I am not that, right? Come back to that my original statement, which was given, right? You will know what is real when you accept what is not real. Today, we are to accept that our thoughts are not what we are. Our feelings are not what we are. Our actions, which are the culmination of these two, is not what you are. They are happening in this very reality, and you are the witness of all these things. But instead, what I'm doing is I'm associating myself. I am bonded. I am totally bonded with my thoughts. I am bonded with my feelings. I am bonded everything that is generated through this process. And I think that I am the one doing it. And hence, I get into this karmic cycle. I'm bonded. The moment you're bonded, either you get the positive energy, good deeds, or it becomes a bad deed. Now, the question is, why is this an important aspect? Why is this an important aspect? Anyone? Why is that I need to have this perspective? You're awfully quiet today. I already gave the answer, actually. So, why is this perspective important? Is the moment I identify, what we discovered earlier is we identify ourselves with this mind, and we are totally convinced that my main character is in my mind's reality. If I flip the coin from a truth perspective, what is real, I will quickly realize my main character is in my thoughts, because my thoughts are creating those feelings, and feelings are becoming actions. Actions are coming as reality. If I bring this perspective, my main character is not in the action. My main character is in the thought, right? If I start to bring that perspective to myself and say that, okay, this thought, and now, not just that my main character is the thought, I am not the one generating that thought. It is like a passing cloud. My thoughts are like a passing cloud in the sky. My mind is the sky. My thoughts are the clouds. Clouds come and go. As long as you don't disturb them, they come and go. Now, the question is, why am I getting into those thoughts? Why am I imagining things? Why am I going through all this drama within my main character when I start to realize what is real? So, it is very important to ask this question. Today, we're going to talk about this question, why I need to ask this question, what is real? Is my body real? my senses real, my intelligence real, my sixth sense real, like everything has this. When I start to accept what is not real, I will quickly know what is real. So it may seem like, a lot of things are coming together for us. Sometimes, it so happens that in my main character, as my mind's reality, right? If it's like, your reflection is becoming aware of itself. What would happen if our reflection becomes aware of itself? It will create a abundant disturbance, right, in the way of thinking, because you may be thinking hundreds and thousands of things in this mind. Imagine that everything is coming in that awareness. How would you look at it? Right? It creates a huge disturbance, right? And what if we start to realize that we are not the thoughts and we are not the beliefs, that we aren't even the me factor, which is what we spoke about last time, the last session, right? This me factor that I brought to my own story is I am the hero. This me is the hero for me, and we are starting to realize that this me itself is not a true. Me itself is part of the ego center that's running the whole show here. So what is happening for me is, whatever we are trying to imagine, whatever we are trying to make this, a fun, joyful, or whatever maybe that movement that you're trying to create, you may just be fine to kind of look at it as in a perspective that what is about your mind, the mirrors, the reflection, the disturbance, right? Whatever those things that you are carrying in your mind, whether it is a thought, whether it is an impression, whether it is something that you brought in as an aspect, everything that you are creating within that, when you start associating with it, you are trying to become that, isn't it? That is the true nature, right? Whatever I am associating with very often is what I become. So if I try to distance between my association and me as my own identity, the true identity of me, what will happen is all these things are passing clouds. They come, they go, but it has nothing to do with your true identity. If we are able to acknowledge that our mind is a mirror reflection of what is real and what is not very accurate, because the consciousness that is out there, even my mind is coming from that consciousness, and that consciousness has nothing to do with the character of my main character of mind. It is only my own interpretation through which I am subject and object. Subjectively and objectively, I am bringing things together in a perspective, assuming that I am the one holding this whole thing together. I may have 100 million, interpretations in my mind. Every individual will have tons of information. If you look at it, take 1 year, and then every day you are having 60,000 thoughts minimum. Compile that with 365 days for 10 years. Imagine how many thousands and thousands of imaginations or interpretations we are doing in this experimented mind, right? So when you are not thinking, your body is free to feel without your interference. It will regulate your emotional moods on its own. It will be able to tell you if there are things that are physically wrong. And you will certainly notice, because you are witnessing everything that is happening. You will be easily be able to change your habits. Your habitual responses can be altered. Your anger, right? Your fears. You will be informed of your emotions that you are carrying within. What your emotions are supposed to do, you are witnessing all of that. We all say that, hey, no emotion should become an addictive or a chronic that can sicken you. But yet, we fall the prey for emotions all the time. If I'm able to imagine that piece of life that we just talked about, imagine that balance that you create automatically within your system, right? How can you not be the hero of everything what is happening around you? Imagine you are checking your thoughts all the time, no matter what is going on around you. It may sound like it is an impossible thing. It may sound like it is like, it's a funny, that it's a crazy thing that how can I be aware of my thoughts all the time? But you can be aware of your thoughts, because thoughts has nothing to do with you as a reality. You are much beyond the phase of thoughts. In fact, the sky that is holding the clouds, you are not even that sky. You are beyond that.
Master, sky, we can compare like a come, right? If your thoughts are like do, if you add the do, it will be dukkam. Like that, it is interpretation like a introspect. Whatever you are thinking of about that, it can be a sukham or a dukkam. Just su or du means come is just a space. That's what.
Yes, it is a space. It is that space is nothing but the consciousness, the gap, right? Slip between the gap.
Yes.
Right. So a cloud is passing by, it means a thought has come your way. Now, what you're doing, instead of letting that cloud pass by, you are bringing that cloud down. What does it mean? You're playing with the cloud. So you're playing with the thought. What happens? The thought generates or creates that feeling for you, and that feeling becomes a reality. So if I start to understand this one concept, that I am nothing to do with my thoughts, and my thoughts are generating based upon my past deeds, and I have nothing in association with those thoughts, then you slowly become the witness. So there is a misconception out there that using my thoughts, I'm able to relieve the thoughts. You will never be able to relieve your thoughts. It is like, you go into a calm lake, and then you take a stone or a pebble, and then you throw it in there, and the ripples form.
Ripple effect.
Yeah, ripple effect, right? And then you are expecting the ripples, you will be able to hold the ripples, or you will be able to stop the ripples. It is a futile exercise to make that stop. The only way to stop it is to let it happen. Let the ripples come, go on its own. Few minutes later, your lake will be back to its natural state. Similarly, your mind, when it creates these thoughts, when you disassociate yourself and you start to witness these thoughts in the ultimate, what is real, in the frame of what is real, then what happens? You have gained enough patience to watch your thoughts go by, like the way clouds pass by in the sky, and you are not affected by it. You're always in that calm state of lake, that it is there, right? That stillness within your mind is always there. There is a misconception. It is not a misconception. It is more like not understanding the deeper way. Do I have to imagine God, or God is already is in me? If you really ask me, God is not in the thought. Is God in the thought? No, he's not in the thought. But where is he there? Between the thoughts is God is there. Between the thought is where the gap is. In that gap is where you have the standstill, the stillness. And in that stillness is where you will experience the divinity. Right now, I go to temple, I sit down, and then or go to a divine, shop or some place, right? And then you worship God with your thought, with your imagination. You do that. But where is the real God? Where is the real divinity? Where is he? He is between the thoughts. You can experience him all the time. I have lost the connection because my lake, which is my mind, is always disturbed, or my sky has clouds passing by all the time. I do not even have a gap, because I have lost the identity. I have lost what is real, what is not real. I don't know. Because I don't know what is real and what is not real. What am I doing? I'm using cloud after cloud, thought after thought after thought, without any gap, any slipping in between, and associating myself with those thoughts to bring them into reality. And hence, suffering has become an inevitable drama in our lives. Everyone starts to suffer. In the context of truth, there is no suffering. But I am not ready to accept that I am beyond the state of sky, beyond the state of lake. I'm not ready to be in that state of being. Except for that being, everything else I am able to track it. Right? Every thought, irrespective of how you look at it, you have your pure perception is what is, is not about what you tell yourself, isn't it? My pure perception is not about what I tell for myself. It doesn't rely on what other people tell you either. And when we stop thinking, you're able to observe, listen, feel. The truth is obviously there in everything you see and experience. Be still for a moment. I cannot do that because I don't know what is real, what is not real. Right? I comment for myself all the time through my own voice, inner voice. My inner voice is commenting everything that is coming my way. Even this session, whatever is happening right now, each of you may be thinking that, oh, this subject is good, this subject is, I'm not able to get this, or maybe I have more questions, or, I don't know. You are commenting on this in this very moment. It may be explaining what you're reading right now. It may be what you have stopped judging right now, or what distraction you may be going through right now, making comments about someone else while you are talking about it. She did, he did, right? Or you're enjoying this conversation. Unlikely that this may be your reality at this moment. Every thought follows a storyline, often with a beginning, a middle, and an end. Whether we realize it or not, every story, every thought as a story follows this. The beginning, the middle, and the end. And that story of my thought will always include my familiar characters that I interact with. Most of them who you know very well. And your reality is populated through these characters all the time. Not so much as the actual people, or it may be any other characters, or it may be any other things or events that happen, in any way. It may be some dreamful thing, it may be an imagination thing, right? So when we awake ourselves, when we come out of this dream state, what we start to look at the reality is as it stands. So we talk about time as an illusion. We talk about energy resonates in itself. We understand that we are the very beginning. We are the ones who is witnessing everything, but yet we are everywhere, and then we are nowhere. We understand the karmic cycles, how these things work. We understand the kind of nature, right, that we bring ourselves into. Everything, every single thing we understand. We try to use our mind and our intelligence and try to dissipate or try to interpret however, in whatever form we want, and we try to bring that perspective to ourselves without understanding that all these things have nothing to do with what you are and what we are. And these are all the things that are happening in the space of this mind sky. It has nothing to do with the consciousness. Consciousness is ever flowing in the moment. There is no past, there is no future. It is only in the moment that consciousness ever flows. We are all dreaming the reality. But in fact, if we are awake, If we awake ourselves from this dream reality, we will understand the true nature of what self is. Imagine what is the law of gravity if one is sleeping in his deepest state. Is there any law of physics? Is there a logic for that individual who is in his deepest state of sleeping? Right? Does he even have his own family? Does he even have awareness? He or she has awareness of his own body or mind in his deepest state of sleep? If the answer is yes, then everything is yes. If the answer is no, then the reality has nothing to do with who you are. The laws of society, the laws of universe, the law of resonation, the law of polarity. You bring anything. Are you really aware of anything what is happening in your deepest state of sleep? Any impressions that are making any attempt to make you or break you in your deepest state of sleeps? That moment, but the moment you come out of your deepest sleep, you will realize that moment is real. And we are trying to tell our own story about it. I felt so joyful. It was so happy. It was so peaceful. You try to put some words to kind of imagine or to kind of connect to that space during that deepest state, whatever has happened. Are there emotions? Are there feelings? Are there any kind of thoughts? Anything? Nothing. Once you are out of that deepest state, the entire what is not real will take over and the drama continues. So the waking dream can be mastered. Right? We can master that, the waking dream. We can remind ourselves before falling asleep to wake up, right, in the middle of a reoccurring characters, reoccurring nightmares. When you are getting nightmares, you can remember yourself to come out of it. Isn't it we call the lucid dreaming in some form or fashion, that I am on my own dreams and I'm able to awake and come out of it? Is it not a simple enough to remind ourselves that we are dreaming all the time? Even though we go through an ordinary day, the way it goes, can we not remember that we are dreaming all the time?
Yes, Master.
And can we not remember that it has nothing to do with us unless we agree that it does? Unless you agree that that is what you are, it has nothing to do with you. Everyone has the power to steer their reality in any direction they want. Yet, we continue to fall the prey for this disastrous reality. Everyone has a chance to alter their message, their thought process. We created the idea of ourselves by listening to the opinions of people who are closest to us. Right? They told us who you are, what your version are, who you are, and you took that granted that that is what you are. On the same tone, you cannot change the way other people perceive you. And it's not important to go change other people's perception. However, you can take charge of your own thought process, your dreams. You can take charge of your own dreams. You can modify the reflection. That way it can better reflect the truth, the reality. What is real? Why is that I'm not able to get out of this monstrous reality that I have built for my own? Day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. Why am I stuck in my own phobia, in my own illusion, because I have lost the connection with the what is real. What is real? I never ask this question to myself. What is real? Isn't this told by all grand masters that you are the pure energy? You are the embodiment of energy. Every master says, accumulate energies in silence, but yet my mind is always noisy. We assume we know who we are. We assume we can discern what is real. We believe our assumptions are true. Until you yourself start to doubt it, you always think that your assumptions are true. What is the first step in answering what is real? Our sense of reality starts to shift when we question what we believe. Right? We are not going to do that. Why we don't do that? We don't go to the root of the problem. We always dwell in the surface of the problem. I wanted to hide the problem. I wanted to avoid the problem. But instead, what reality is all about, you facing the problem and taking that problem to the core. Go to the core of the problem, to the source of the problem, and start asking this question: is this problem me, or is this problem big enough that it can shake up my truth, my reality? We never ask these questions. And hence, suffering has become an inevitable habit for our livelihoods. Everything is suffering. Small change that happens, it conflicts big time in our sky, in our main character here. I'm not able to accept. I go with an expectation that this has to happen like ABC. If I see XYZ, I'm struck. I don't know what to do now. I'm struck. Because that ABC, that XYZ is happening here, but we never accept the reality as it comes to us. The truth has nothing to do with your mind. The truth is living with your heart. When you live with your heart, there is no question of positive, negative. The only thing that matters is happening. That's it. You disassociate yourself from what you are not. The moment you associate yourself from what you are not, then you are in that reality. You are the reality. You are the truth. You are living in the truth in that moment. In that very moment, whether the XYZ happens or ABC happens, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Why does it matter today? Because I am stuck here at my mind. I have an expectation. I'm coming with an expectation that XYZ needs to happen to me. And when XYZ does not happen, when ABC comes or vice versa, I'm struck. I don't know what to do. So when I start to associate myself from this thought process, and I start to observe it and not have any expectations and go and be with the flow in that moment, that is where happiness, that is where peace is. Imagine you are going and doing work without any expectations. Right? Selfless service is all about that. At that very moment, if you are doing that selfless service, enlightenment has to come to you. That's a natural phenomena. It is not like something you are doing to get it. It is meant to happen that way, because you are not the one doing it. You do not have any impression whatsoever or any kind of attachment in that very moment what you are trying to do. Whether good, bad, ugly, whatever may be that scenario, you are beyond the state of mind, because heart only carries truth. Heart does not carry multiple versions. It is the mind that carries multiple versions. The moment I carry my mind into a situation, I have if, but, why, when, how, all these things are coming. And all these things have nothing to do with me as a reality. Me as an individual, the absolute truth or the ultimate truth. It has nothing to do with any of these things. So suffering is not because I do not understand. Suffering is because I do not disassociate from the understanding. Everybody says, oh, karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalehe durbuhu ma te sangosya karmani. Everybody knows about it. Yes, you got to do the karma. You got to do with the rightful spirit. You got to do without attachments.
No expectations.
No expectations, exactly. But yet, we fall into the prey all the time. Why is that? Why is that I am not able to turn this table around? Because I do not ask the relevant questions. So when I want to get into this path of truth, how does peace come to me? Have any of us question? Okay, why should I do spiritual seva? Why should I be a spiritual warrior? Why should I be in spirituality to begin with? What is that it's going to give me? Yes, masters have said, scriptures have said, you will get peace, happiness. But did we ever ask the question, how do you get it? How do you get it? Just because you close your eyes, you sit, you observe your breath, you're going to get into enlightenment? How is this even possible?
Control of the sense organs, Master? No?
No, madam. I just answered earlier about that, right? So what happens is when you start to disassociate yourself, ask those right questions, and you understand that what you are not, then what else is left out is what you are. But I am not patient enough, right? I do not have the basic understanding of spirituality. Why am I getting into spirituality? Is because I want peace and happiness, but I don't know how to get it. Even you have been told, or each of us have been told the way to go get it, we are not prepared to get it. We're not ready. We are the best actors in the world. Again, main character. You are the hero of your own story. But you don't know that you are the villain of others' story. We don't know that, right? We don't accept that. As much as you embrace your own story as a hero, you are also a villain to others. In their own emotions, in their own impressions, in their own judgments, in their own attachments, and whatever those 5-6 things are going on here, all those things are making you a villain. Why is that I am liked by someone and I'm not liked by someone else? Why is that when you are doing a true service to humanity, people are judging you? Is the work that you are doing is wrong, or people judging you is wrong? Right? Why is Mahatma Gandhi? Why people judged Mahatma Gandhi, even though he was a karmist? What happened for Bhagwan? What happened for Ramakrishna Paramahamsa? People thought he was mentally ill, even though, in spirituality, he's the most renowned master that's out there in last 200 years. It is because you are the main character and you are the hero for your own story. But when you put that perspective with others, you quickly become the villain. So when I try to bring this perspective into my life, and then I start to question these things, what is happening, why this is happening, now you are withdrawing from the actions that are bound to happen. Because no matter how much I try to control myself, I am just steering in this phobia of life, right? I have no control. I'm just, it just dragging me. But when I ask these questions, I still my status. Everything comes to that quietness. Everything comes in that balanced state. Because now that you ask the question and your mind cannot comprehend, or mind does not have the authority to answer that question, it will become quiet. In that moment of quiet, you experience the true nature of who you are. That's the reason asking this question, what is real, is very, very important. And when you accept what is not real, I'm accepting my thoughts. I'm accepting, hey, thoughts are bound to come. Accept the reality. Accept it. Don't fight it. Don't fight the thought. If you fight the thought will go up. It is like you are fighting the ripples in a lake. It is just a matter of time you will lose. No matter how hard you try to keep the ripples or oceanic waves. You may try so many different ways to stop the wave to come out, but it is a futile exercise. You will fail. Similarly, your thoughts, they come, they go. If you do not, they are the guests in your home of mind. They are the guests. Let the guests go. Don't give them. Don't bring them. In one of the masters, I forgot, a Carnatic master. I forgot the Basavana. Basavana is an enlightened, from the Bhakti Marga. He's an enlightened master. Dharmender or Damodar. He's one of his disciples, if I remember the name correctly. He asked him the question, right? Hey, master, I'm trying to understand my thoughts. I cannot control my thoughts. What do I do? What do I do to control my thoughts? No matter how much hard I try to control my thoughts, I'm not able to control my thoughts. He gave this example, right? Hey, your mind, imagine your mind is your home, and your thoughts are your guests. Don't serve the tea to the guests. If you serve the tea to the guests, they will stick like thoughts, right? The mind is there, thoughts are coming and going. When you bring the thoughts down, when you stick with the thoughts, and then you pull the guest and say, hey, you stay here, you be here, I'm going to serve you this, I'm going to do. The moment you start to serve your guest, the guest will stick around. He gives this beautiful example. He says, never ask your thought guests. Never ask yourself to serve your thought guests. If you do so, they stick with you. You become the guest. That means that becomes your reality. Excellent example. Let them come, let them go. The way they came, they will go. Do not try to emotionally get attached with your guests. Never think that it is a sign of weakness to surrender the need to know. Never ever think that. You can even question your own knowledge, my dear masters. Each of us can question our own knowledge. You can disregard the way that your life is, and then you can trust your life much more than what you're capable today. You alter the face of me. You can alter the face of me as a reality. Whatever may be the situation, whatever may be the problem, whatever may be the circumstances that we are going through, you have the power to alter it. By adopting the source energy's point of view, you will let go of every obsession that is stuck in our own sky, main character. By seeing beyond your concerns, we can all appreciate that infinite being. Only if I allow it to come, only if I allow it to happen, only if I ask those 1, 2, 3 questions. Truth is such a powerful thing, nothing can withstand. Your mind will evaporate in front of truth, my dear masters. Such is the power of truth. There is nothing. It is said again and again, Yato vacha nivartante aprapya manasasaha. You will not be able to understand the power of truth, nor truth itself, by your senses, by your intelligence, by your mind, by your body, in any capacity. It is beyond the state of all of these. It is only through that experience, when you ask these questions and when you experience that, beyond that, when you witness your own thought coming and going, and you are in that still state, you're experiencing the divinity in action. That's it. At that very moment, you are in the truth. Right? I am living the unseen. Right? My life is about seen and unseen. Right? The combination of seen and unseen. Right now, the way I am living is only seen. I do not comprehend the unseen. I do not even accept. I behave as if that it does not even exist. But in truth, energy has both unseen and seen. I may not be able to perceive my thought, but if I go into the thought, and thought generates that feeling, and feeling through action, and action through reality, then I feel the pain of it. But it is too late, isn't it? Something that was going out there, you dragged it all the way, you make it your own reality, and you're suffering from it. How pity it is. When you put that in context to our problems, our little situations, our, the chicken-minded hearts and the little-minded, people cannot understand or comprehend the power of truth. That's what Vivekananda says, actually. Chicken-hearted people and little-minded people cannot understand or comprehend the true power, the real power of truth. It's because it is such a power, and it is not like I'm trying to get it. I am that. I am that. I am born with that. I will again and again come with that reality. All I have to do is ask the right question. Second pearl, what is real? Any questions, masters? I hope the subject is sinking in a little bit. Any question, doesn't matter. Last week's session, this week's session, anything.
Yeah, so we have this knowledge and we do the sadhana and everything, but sometimes we fall back into the stress and everything with this life with the family, work, and everything. So how do we keep up? Like, so I started meditation in 2022. So 1.5 year, it was really peaceful, and last year it was completely down. And again this year, I'm very much into it. So you think it is? I see a lot of videos. You think it is karmic, or that comes into play, or is it just my thinking?
So first of all, the thinking has nothing to do with you as you, unless you agree it does. Right? That's the whole gist of the conversation today, right? So the moment you stoop down to your thought process, you find a reason to put a victim card out there, you will continue to suffer. Suffering is not because of lack of knowledge, or suffering is not because of lack of understanding. Suffering is because of lack of acceptance. Right? Why it is an acceptance is because whatever is happening to you, your truth is not shifting, isn't it? Is there any, like yesterday, whatever the great moment you had, your truth was with different reflection, and then today you had a very sad moment and your truth has a different reflection? No, truth will never change, irrespective of what may be the versions or aversions that you're carrying, right? The shadow of it. So what we need is, we need that understanding. We need to spend time, like the way you are learning your subjective things in the world, trying to, you're working and you're trying to learn a skill. Let's suppose you're learning a software. how you are spending time to learn that software. Similarly, you have to learn the ways of truth, living in truth, right? When you start to embrace this truth, when you start to find time, give time to the truth, what happens is the shift slowly starts to happen. The truth is within you, but the shift has to happen because you have to bring that perspective into the life. Today, you are not bringing the perspective because you don't have the full understanding. You may call yourself that past 1 year I was able to do it, but now I'm not able to do it. The real question is not why am I not able to do it? The question is what shifted? What made you not to do it? And when you know the answer, what are you going to do about it? When we experience the energies, when we have an excellent way of being, when you have practiced meditation and you have understood how the energy works, when you are getting these altered experiences where things are happening or manifested for you, healing is happening, the body is, giving positive results for you, our mind is getting acclimated to the positive reality of what you as a being, everything is happening, but yet we are not ready to accept it. So what happens? Your logic mind is popping up and it is showing you a way that, hey, this is not it, this is not it, this is not it, and eventually you lose it. So the way to start to look at it, madam, this is a very important question, is whether I believe in my destiny or I believe in my doing things the way it has to be done. Destiny may call for anything that is at a body-mind level, but destiny has nothing to do with you as a reality, as a truth. It has nothing to do. Truth cannot be shaken by destiny because truth alone exists. Destiny is part of that, right? The consciousness that you are is everywhere, everything. That cannot be shaken by one belief or one destiny or one item of judgment. That cannot shift. That's there. In eternity, that is there. But I have lost that identity. So question is, how do I bring back that identity to myself? That is where your will come. Will. You have to have the will to bring it back to the source. So these sessions are not helping you to become that. These sessions are giving you the path, showing you the pathway to say that, hey, the path still exists. There is still hope. You can still make it. The more you understand about truth, the easier it becomes in your daily life. Because once you understand the truth, you are always in this still mode, right? You're always in the witness mode. Then things cannot bother you anymore because you're carrying those energies that are much more higher than anything else that is happening at the worldly level. That's the reality. I gave you a long roundabout response, but any of those things, if you are able to bring them, you will be able to change it. But don't let it out that it is karma. Karma is an excuse.
Okay.
Right.
Thank
When you
you.
put that right, I'll give you another example. They went, Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi, right? It's a classic example, right? When people started to look at his body and his body was decaying, and everybody said that, Bhagwan, your body is decaying, you're going to leave the body, who is going to guide us, what he said, is an amazing thing. He said that I do not know that I carry a body until the point that you are coming and telling me. Such is the state of witness that he is in. That is the power of truth. I'm not saying this because Bhagavan is in that state of truth. I'm saying the power of truth. If you can imagine that power of truth, that is so profound that even your body is decaying, your body is dying right in front of you, you will not have a pinch of pain, an inch of move that you wanted to look at it, right? He doesn't even have that feel that he is carrying a body until someone is telling him that you have a body, you have a body. That is the power of consciousness. That is the peace, that is the happiness that you get when you get into that consciousness, when you get into the truth. And that can only come to you with your will. You cannot throw it out to destiny. Good. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question, sir.
Yes.
So you're saying destiny and karma don't play that big of a role. So why some people face so many challenges in their life versus some other people may face lot less? Like we all are like you know born the same way, but everybody's got different challenges in life.
Correct.
Some having more, some less. So it has to do something with the karma, right?
It has everything to do with karma. It has everything to do with karma. The way you bring your own karmas depends upon your design of life, right? Everyone is born unique. Everyone is not born same. Everyone is born unique. When you are born unique, you carry your own baggage, right? Some may have more karma. You may get 5 points of karma this life. Others may get 10 points. Others may get 20 points. Some may get 100 points. It all depends upon the design of your life. But that is not what you are. You are the truth. You are the embodiment of truth. Never forget that what you are. This prarabdha, whatever we call prarabdha, is what you are getting into this life. The karmas that you are getting into this life has nothing to do with you as a true nature of I am, right? The reality of truth, the true nature of the absolute nature of who you are has nothing to do with your body and mind picking up those karmas and coming here. You are learning lessons. That's it. See, whatever maybe you brought a karma in this lifestyle, you are going through it. One day you have a positive view on it. Other day you have a negative view on it. Right?
Yeah, that is so true.
Exactly. Does it have any effect on your soul?
No.
No. Why? Why is that?
But the truth is same for everyone, right?
Exactly. That's exactly the point. It has nothing to do with whether it is a positive thing or negative thing, your soul is learning. That's it. Bottom line is your soul is here to learn. That's it. Whether you bring that positive perspective or negative perspective, it doesn't really affect the true nature of who you are. So when you understand that the true nature of you, who you are, and you experience it, then you realize that you are in this dream state of body mind. All this karma, all this destiny, all this design, everything is coming because of this body mind state. And you are not that. When you are not that, you let it happen. Right? It is like, in Bhagavad Gita, right? For Arjuna said, I cannot fight. I just cannot fight. I cannot see my own family suffer through my own actions. I cannot just fight. Then Krishna said, hey, irrespective of whether you fight or you don't fight, if you fight and you die in the battle, you go to heaven. If you don't fight, or if you fight and you win in the battle, right? You win in the battle, then you have the entire kingdom. Either ways, you are winning. But one thing you need to know, Arjuna, it is in your prarabdha to fight. Because he brought that karma of fighting in that lifetime. So he has to fight. Whether he likes it or not, his body is going to fight. Because he's born Kshatriya. So similarly, there are things that happen in our body-mind state, irrespective of how much you try. Those things will happen, because when those things are happening repeatedly, again and again, we should start to understand that, yes, then you say, this is my destiny, right? And then you fight your destiny. It's like you brought the chocolate and you're resisting yourself to eat it. You're fighting against your own self, right? How long you will be able to do that? So either you have to be in this reality of the frame of body mind and then start to understand that I am not the body mind, bottom up kind of a thing, or you understand that you are the very truth itself and everything else is happening in this unreal state. And then you bring that perspective. Either way, wisdom is essential. That's why wisdom is very essential for realization. Without wisdom, you can say that I'm sitting and doing meditation for 100 hours, 200 hours, or 1,000 hours. It will not yield anything. Zero. You will never get enlightened. That which cannot give you that vibrational energy, which will allow you to grasp the wisdom within that vibration, you will never be able to release yourself. For me to release myself from the karma, I have to have the wisdom. It's a must. And that comes only through your own practice and your own understanding. All right? So when I look at it as a body mind, you will always think that this is happening to me. You are never in a point where you understand that I brought this to myself, right? That thought process is not there. You are only in the process where you are fighting it, either positive or negative, whatever it is. But when you bring the truth into the picture, everything should shift. That shift is not happening because we don't have the greater understanding yet. And we have not accepted the truth as it stands. That's why I ask the question, what is real? Then the shift happens. All right? Any other questions? So the only thing is, remember that you can alter your own messages. Whatever is happening here, you can alter that. You can steer the reality to a new direction. All you have to do is listen. Listen to your own self. Become one with the reality that what you truly are, not what you are perceived to be. All right. If no further questions, then we will start the meditation now. Let us sit in meditation, masters, for next half an hour, 40 minutes or so. Let us become one with our breath. When you are sitting in meditation, remember the purpose of meditation is to connect to the truth. The purpose of meditation is not healing. Purpose of meditation is not intentions. That is not the true purpose of. The true purpose of meditation is for you to know who you are. That's pretty much what the role of meditation is. If you know who you are, then this whole drama, illusion will stop. The dream state will stop. If you don't know, the drama, the saga continues. All right? Lose the identity of your ego, who you are. The body consciousness, whatever your body is doing, let it go. And whatever your identity is bringing to you, I am this, I am that, I am so and so, I live in this, I live there, I have so much of wealth, I have so much of houses, I have so many cars, let go of everything. All that is false. You are nothing other than your consciousness itself, and everyone else is also in the same frame of consciousness. Thank you, masters. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity. Let us all thank the masters, universe, and the energies we received today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. At this time, anyone would like to share experience or any questions, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. So quickly, there was a madam that spoke earlier from Austin. Forgot the name. Is it Sindhu? Swati?
Sindhu.
Sindhu, madam.
Yeah.
So you gave your number, or I didn't get the number though. Did you put it in?
Yeah, I gave it in the chat.
No, I don't see it, man.
You don't. I'll text you again in the chat.
Yeah, just or just I'll send you what I do is 1 second. I can actually text your number to me. I'll put you in the group and then send you the YouTube link as well.
Did you get it now?
No, madam, I didn't get it. Oh yeah,
Oh,
got it.
okay.
Okay, I'll send the details. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.